Hi guys, welcome back or welcome to my YouTube channel. And on today's episode, we will be discussing my April sketchbook. And for the month of April, I predominantly painted outdoors. And so I'm excited to show you some of my sketches and my paintings. And it was a good month with a lot of productivity, and I'm happy it's May though. It's beautiful out now. It's raining less. I'm going to show you this lovely April sketchbook, and it's kind of neat because at the beginning it starts out bare because the leaves aren't on the trees yet, and by the end there's leaves on the trees. So here we go. Hi guys, so here is my Plein Air sketchbook, and I decorated it with a sticker I got at a comic book store. I can't read Japanese, so I can't tell you what it says, but I thought it was really neat. There's some horses and some landscapes and looks like some excitement there. So that's that. Here we go. Here's the first page. So I'm using a Moleskine 3x5 sketchbook. It was the watercolor paper. Not quite sure what the cotton ratio count is for that paper. I'm not 100% that crazy about the paper, but I do like the size and I like the portrait style format. So for the opening page, I did some Gerber daisies because at the time I had some fresh Gerber daisies in a vase. So I was like, oh, I'm going to sketch those, do a little painting. And then I had my little robin friend in my front yard was looking for some worms. And I always do like a return to Missy phone number there. So I have that covered up. So, you know, you guys don't call me. So this is the first Plein Air painting I did, and I have, so this was a statue in my backyard, and I actually did this in acrylic, and I normally don't paint in acrylic, but it was a beautiful day. It was April 1st. It was so nice out. My Goldens were surrounding me while I was painting. They were enjoying the day. I was enjoying the day. So this was a very enjoyable painting that I did. It was fun. You know, it was like I had high hopes for the month of Plain April because I was like, oh, I'm going to paint every day outdoors. Well, it did rain quite a bit in April, so I didn't paint every day, and life gets busy too. But I did fill up this little sketchbook full of outdoors adventures. So here we go. Here's the second one. This was my front yard, and it's amazing how life has changed since then. This is April 2nd. If it's all these trees are all filled in with all leaves now. And this was like this tall, like I call it a wheat bush, and it's not a wheat bush, but it's probably some sort of tall grasses. I always cut it down, but I ended up sketching that later. I call it wheat grass, but I don't know what the formality name is. And then here's like all little greens coming up. This is the beginning of April, so it's so neat. This is like a foreshadowing of what's going to come. It's so neat. Here's another example of like how different my yard looks now. This is in full bloom now. It's like, I think it's called a fire bush. Someone told me it was called a fire bush. And so I just call it a fire bush now. So, but I love this. This is like so cool because this is April 3rd and it looks totally different now in the backyard. It's full of greens and it's full of fire bushes. And this is just so neat. And there's that statue right there. So that statue is the statue that I did at the beginning. Okay, so here's the wheatgrasses. This is another drawing I did of, these are all in full bloom now. So this is exciting. I like this. I might do this again next year, April. All the things. Oh, here's my friend. So this is my woodpecker friend, and he was just like pecking away at this tree, and it was covered in moss, and I love moss, and I love this woodpecker, so I sketched it, and I think it came out pretty cool. I liked the texture of the tree. And this little guy here, he was so busy that day, just pecking away, because that's his job. He's a woodpecker. Oh, here's another fun one. I love this tree because it had all these crazy arms and branches. And while I was creating this, a squirrel came and he sat on the branch, and he wasn't there too long, but I said, I gotta add that little fella in there. So I did. So he's now part of the sketch too. And I thought it was just a neat scene. Okay, so here is another one that was actually this was an unexpected trail we did. We were going someplace else, and we discovered a trail along the way, and we tend to do that. We'll just pull over and like do these random trails. And so we did this quick little, it was a short one. But what I loved about this was the moss islands. That's what I called them, moss islands. And these were like little moss islands around the trees, and I thought they were amazing. So I sketched them. Oh, here's some of my duck friends. So I call this one bottoms up because the bottoms of the ducks are up. And they were just like fishing below, and I just loved it. And so I wanted to capture that scene of these little ducks having fun. Oh my goodness. So this was actually, out of this book, this is the only plein air, non-plein air painting I did. Everything was outdoors. This guy here was in a restaurant, and he was wall mounted, and we were at the Texas Roadhouse, and I saw him on the wall, and I had this sketchbook with me, and I was like, oh, this is my plein air sketchbook. But I was like, you know what, I'm gonna paint that fish. So I did, and I had so much fun painting him. He was at a table behind me, so or next to me, or actually in front of me. I have a wonderful sense of direction here when I recreate these videos. So anyways, I sketched him. I enjoyed sketching him, and it was so nice. What is better in life than sketching and having a great meal? I had some delicious steak, and I sketched him, so life is good. Oh, yes. This is one of my favorite that I've done in a while. This is April. We had an unexpected snowstorm. Not really a storm, but you know, enough to cover the snow on the ground. And then it was pretty much gone within a day or two after. But I actually had a fundraising event that day in the morning, and I was going to there, and it was snowing, and I said, oh my goodness, I have to go down to the pond and see. I betcha my ducks will be down there. And sure enough, my ducks were down there. There's some ducks in the background here. There's some ducks here. On them. And I loved just taking a little trip down there and capturing the scene. I did not paint this outside that day because I had a place to go, but I painted it later, and I had so much fun. It was kind of like a fun treat to be painting a snow scene in April. Hey, I was happy the snow didn't stay long because I wanted spring to come into full effect. But it was it was just super fun, and I loved painting this scene, and I hope you guys enjoy it too. Okay. Oh, yes. So this is so fun. This is like such an example of like how life changes in nature, like all the time. So I painted this April 13th. This was in full bloom with the yellows, with these flowers. If I go by this person's house now, oh, with my dog. Hold on, Holly. So what's this one? Oh, yes. So this day, so my dad, I had to bring my dad to a doctor's appointment, and then afterwards he had physical therapy. So after I brought him to doctor's appointment, the woman's like, oh, you can come back after his therapy. So I was like, okay, I got 45 minutes to kill. And so let me kill it at the pond. So I ended up painting this scene, and I only had time to just paint it without painting all the ducks. There's like 2 male ducks there, and the rest are all geese. And it was just a sunny, beautiful day, and I want to utilize my 45 minutes to sketch the scene. It was so beautiful because they had like all the shadows of the trees, and the sun was shining, and all these birds were enjoying themselves. Oh, and then I decided to do another one, another guy here. And you know what? I noticed like I'm having some bleed through with my paintings on this Moleskine, and I don't know if I always had that problem with Moleskine. I don't know if that's a problem in recent years, or maybe it's me. Maybe I'm the problem. What do you think? Hi. And guys, this is my final painting of my Plein Air sketchbook in the month of April. This was a potted plant, and it had some pussy willows, and I just thought it was beautiful and pretty. So guys, that concludes my April sketchbook tour of my April Plein Air sketches. I hope you guys enjoyed it.